Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at a couple action figures made by Mego, and they are Fonzie from Happy Days and Action Jackson. These two were Target exclusives. They were released in the early days when Mego first came back, uh, basically, and I think that was in 2018. And you can sort of tell the early Target exclusives because they have like these lines going across a lot of them, so you can sort of recognize them as the early Target exclusives just based on the way the packaging looks. And we're going to talk about these, and this will be an in-package review, but later on in the video, I'm going to go over articulation on a Mego figure, which has identical articulation to these two. So we'll take a look at that later, so stay tuned for that. Let's talk about Action Jackson first. This is an interesting figure, sort of loosely based on the vintage original. For those of you who don't know, Action Jackson was the early prototype action figure line that Mego did. It was sort of like a downsized version of G.I. Joe, 8 inches in scale instead of the 12-inch action figure. But he came with a lot of separate accessory sets, so you could accessorize him in adventure and military gear and all kinds of stuff, much in the same way that G.I. Joe had done very successfully. And initially the line was successful, but then the sales dropped off pretty significantly. But it wasn't a total loss because that initial design for this action figure, the body type, they could repurpose and use for many different other action figure lines, including the world's greatest superheroes and Planet of the Apes. So in the end, it was a big win for them because this is the basis on which they were able to build all the tremendous success that Mego had doing 8-inch action figures. So that's really cool. And on the front of the package, you see Action Jackson in cartoon form. And then on the back, we get a picture of a vintage original Action Jackson figure. So that's really cool. And on the back, this is when they were doing the trivia questions, and standard write-up on Marty Abrams, and then credit given to consultant, sculptor, and seamstress. These kind of credits are typical on every Mego package. And then over here on Fonzie, this has a very kind of nostalgic feel. I used to watch Happy Days a lot when I was a kid, and the head sculpt on this is more or less based on the vintage version. He comes with a leather jacket, jeans, and he comes with this comb accessory. On the front of the package, you see pictures of multiple characters. I don't think they ever did Joni. They did, however, do Richie Cunningham. So, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. On the back of the package, you see pictures of multiple characters, collect them all, and so forth. So, very cool figure. Again, I watched Happy Days a lot when I was a kid, and Fonzie was the coolest. Should be noted, this version does not come with the thumbs up action that was in the vintage original. That's just standard Mego hand on this. So, if you have the original, he has this sort of like thumbs up action, but that's not present on this one. So in terms of Richie Cunningham, I bought that figure, but I wasn't particularly thrilled with the way it looked. But I ended up using it for customs. So here we can see what the Richie Cunningham head sculpt looks like, and I turned him into a member of the Enterprise crew. He sort of resembles Lieutenant Riley a little bit. So this actually worked out by combining Richie's upper half with the lower half and accessories from Sulu. So to make a custom Star Trek figure. So that's what I did with that. And then the clothing from Richie Cunningham, I combined with one of my werewolf figures to create sort of I was a teenage werewolf figure. So that's kind of a cool way to sort of customize this and make it look unique. While we got this figure here, we're going to go over articulation real fast because his articulation is identical to these two. So at the head, you get a spin. There is no side to side or front back. At the shoulder, he can extend out, and he also gets 360-degree rotation at the shoulder. At the elbow, there's a single joint. At the wrist, he gets a pivot, and then also back and forth like this. At the waist, he gets rotation. He gets side to side, front and back. At the hip, he can extend out. He can kick forward. He can kick back. And there's also a bit of thigh rotation, which allows you to reposition the feet from side to side. That articulation is happening at the hip joint. And then at the knee, it's a single joint there. And then at the ankle, single joint there. I've gone over articulation on a number of Mego figures in some of my previous videos, so most of you will be familiar with it by now. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Your support is much appreciated. And if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more Mego reviews coming up in future videos. Until next time, I hope you're having a great day, and thanks for watching.